The music industry makeover.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the Music Industry Makeover. Yes, we are here. The MIM team is in full effect right here. I'm DJ Ronnie Ron, Simone Henry, Rico Gibson, D-Ray, the producer. What's going on, guys? How's everything?
Hey, everything is everything.
Everything is everything.
Fantastic.
Hey, man, all right, awesome. Yes, well, hey, you know, we are here on a Thursday night, so you all go out there, spread the word. All right, share this link as well, and tell folks hey they need to tune in because we got a great show lineup for you tonight. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Okay, hey, GoodfellasStudios.com. Go check them out. My man Jero. Okay, go and check him out. Hey, he has some great quality beats and material music. Hey, if you're in the Triad area, also go and stream my man The Rain, all facts for real. All right, all facts for real. Hey, excuse me, The Rain for real, all facts. I'm sorry. Yes, hey, he's doing some great things out there. Hey, we want to support our artists. And don't forget FenioMax.com and Eshe Music, you know, and everything else that's scrolling through there. Make sure you go and check us out and visit our website, musicindustrymakeover.com, musicindustrymakeover.com. If you're an artist out there or your business or an author that would love to promote your book or music, that's what we're here for. All right, come and check us out. We are creating media platforms to help you get exposure out there. And one of our here's a couple of other of our platforms. Rico, go ahead on it. I'm talking about what you got, brother.
So we actually so when it comes to In the Box, we on every Friday night at 9 p.m. The show is for all creatives. This Friday, man, we're gonna have on Demi Day. She's a female artist. She also happens to be the producer of D-Ray's artist, and we're gonna have D-Ray on too. I love this brother, man. You know, one thing about music people, man, we have creative minds, man, but me and that brother cut from the same cloth. But then we're gonna have Demi Day on Friday, and then Sunday we're gonna be jumping into Just Life. Just Life is a show for people that are struggling with life, different scenarios. If you have an issue you're dealing with, anxiety, depression, because of different circumstances, I'm on with Pastor Ricky. We are hosting that show this Sunday. We're gonna be starting dealing with the blended family. A lot of you guys are thinking about getting into relationships and with people that have kids, and there's rules to the game. So we're gonna talk about that. We're supposed to get on this past Wednesday, but we had to kind of fall back. But we're going to be back on Sunday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. And we thank you for your support. And I'll be glad, man, if you can join the show.
Awesome. All right, Simone, tell us about Eshe Music. Yes.
Hello, Eshe Music is an artist services company that helps you to build a fan base, build your brand, and make money with your music. And if you are an artist, you want to be an artist, you need fans, even as a Christian. Mm-hmm. So if you are interested in building a fan base, if you need help and support, I am here to help you. Feel free to visit my website at eshemusic.com. And there is a link up there to schedule a call with me. I would love to talk to you.
Definitely. She's definitely one of the great teachers and coaches out there. So you definitely want to get on board. And D-Ray, what's going on, man? Hey, tell us the Divine Favor Project.
Yeah, the Divine Favor Project is an electronic band that I'm a producer and a member of, along with my lovely wife, Meek. And we create inspirational electronic music. Our website is the divinefavorproject.bandzoogle.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. Well said. All right. Well, hey, look, this is more of like a free for all. We might have DJ Jesus Beats come through as well. He's no stranger to the show as we talk about certain things that are going on in the industry, and also at the same time giving you some marketing and promotional tips out there. So, yes, feel free to join in on the conversation. So I'm gonna turn it over there to D-Ray, and we're gonna go forward here.
All right, let's get it started.
And Lord help us all.
Hey, did y'all ever play that game yet?
See, I wasn't even gonna bring it up.
Why you gotta bring up?
See, I wasn't gonna.
Ron's instigating.
Don't get him. Ron, you was the instigator, Ron. Instigator. He's so slick with it. Like, y'all play the game? Yeah, we're gonna play the game, man. Let's get it.
Yeah.
You know, what you want me to do? Give it up for Roku, Amazon, or do you want to play D-Ray and Madden?
I had said to myself, I said,
Yeah.
Lord, help me not mention this.
Yeah,
See?
my fault.
So I'm not gonna go there.
Oh yeah, your fault, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
So
next,
moving on.
look, next week I'm gonna just hold up a Dave Chappelle sign that says fifth. I'm pleading fifth.
Man.
But let's get into this. Let's get into some streaming. Let's
Mhm.
get into showing independent artists how streaming is basically taking over.
Streaming is
so,
king.
So as of last year, 2019, Spotify had 87 million subscribers.
Wow.
Apple 87 million, and that's usually that's right at. So you do the math on that. That's
And it's growing.
and it's growing. So that's $10 on average a person, and that's 87 million a month. Okay,
Wow.
Money.
that's
Wow.
money. Apple Music is at 56 million subscribers. There and on a report that was based off of Goldman Sachs, they said by 2030, 70% of all revenue from the music industry is going to be recorded music. That's going to trump live music. That's going to trump print music. 70% of their revenue. And we're talking about in 2030, they're projecting that streaming revenue is going to be $131 billion.
You know, another thing too is that I think a lot of when we talk about streaming, people forget about YouTube.
Right.
YouTube is a huge music streaming platform.
Absolutely.
It is a place where a lot of people discover new music, you know, because of videos that have gone viral, or say like, remember we had that artist on a while back, the guitarist from back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Who, you know, a lot of people discovered her song or her band song because of a spoof from Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
Right. So then they come and they're just kind of searching around or whatever, or they see the suggestions that YouTube has. And then they realize, oh, wow, this is like an actual real song, you know?
Wow.
And then covers that people do. I discovered the song Hello by Adele because of covers. Some guy did a cover of that song on Facebook. And that's how I discovered that song.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The problem I have with YouTube, and probably something that we'll probably double back and talk about, you know, if you're an influencer and you are a creator, man, on YouTube, those cats, man, change the algorithm all the time so they can stop, man, having to pay you money.
Yep.
That's a problem.
Yep.
You know, can you imagine getting money with a company, you go into a partnership to get money with the company, they keep coming back, changing the contract, and you keep getting less money and less money and less money. Eventually, you kind of figure out that I really don't need to be on that platform because eventually they don't want to pay you. But anyway, that's another.
Well, see, the problem is, though, that they do need to be on the platform, not because of the money, but because that's where the people are. That's where people are discovering music, right? So if you can find, well, yes, if you want to get paid, you let people find you on the platform where they are, and then you bring them into wherever you want them to be. Correct. Right? Here's into your world.
Here's the danger, though, with YouTube and with Apple. A few years back, I would say maybe the mid 90s, you remember when Walmart started carrying CDs? And Walmart, you know, the average, you go to the record store, you have to pay between $15 and $20 for a CD. But you go into Walmart and Walmart would sell that CD for $9.99. And they was driving down the price. They would sell it at a loss because they really didn't need your CD. That CD revenue, they was hoping that you buy a PlayStation or a TV while you were there, and you just pick up a CD just to get you in the door. YouTube, Google doesn't need YouTube revenue. Google is Google. Apple doesn't need Apple Music revenue. Apple is Apple. They're hoping that If you're subscribed to Apple Music, you're listening to Apple Music on an iPhone. If you're on YouTube, at some point, they're hoping that you're using Google. And so, royalty is in the building.
Jesus Beats,
We
Reverend.
all up in this piece. We all been there, what?
I
Get up, Your Honor.
saw his aura.
Saw the aura.
DJ Jesus Beats in the
Bro, you saw this shiny forehead. That's what you saw.
I lost my train of thought. But anyway, glad to see you, brother.
What's up, bro? You know we love you.
Yeah.
But that's the danger that I see with YouTube and Apple as we're going along and they're renegotiating the streaming rates and that they are basically trying to pay creators less. There's going to be a need for more legislation to protect musicians and content creators because, like you said, the royalty they're not paying now. It's great to have exposure, but exposure won't pay your light bill.
Right.
And the royalty rates right now, they haven't moved in the past 8 or 9 years that streaming has starting to take hold. And there's no signs of those royalty rates. They're talking about it, but those streaming rates are not going up. But let me go ahead and say this last thing, and then we'll open it up. Goldman Sachs also said that by 2030, streaming will be the most dominant source of revenue for the industry. It's going to be more dominant than downloads, and it's going to be more dominant than physical CDs or vinyl. So streaming by 2030, you're looking at maybe 5% physical, 5% digital downloads, if any, and 90% streaming.
I can see that happening, man, because I don't even use CDs unless I'm trying to hear something with my car that I made or I'm checking out a mix or something like that. I don't even use CDs. I hold spindles of them.
Right.
So, because it's easier to Bluetooth. You pay, $9.99 a month. You can hear anything that you want to hear,
Right.
but that kind of takes me back to now that we open and say, as an independent artist, you should not be seeking to get on a major label contract, right? That's antiquated. If you're still seeking to be signed, you don't really understand the game. You don't understand what it really means to be signed, because the thing that you have to do now is you have to create your own platform. Because you want to be able to create, because there's a scenario we'll probably talk about tonight if everybody's cool, because nobody's making a lot of money, record deals are being done that's I would say uncommon, because they're trying to tap into some other revenues that they can't just make from sales. So you get these one-off type deals to incorporate some weird stuff, so that they can try to make money where they probably shouldn't be making money. It's a lot easier for you as an artist to not be lazy and to build your own platform so that when you do start making money, you can retain most of the share. I put something up on my Facebook post to say, if you don't own anything, you can't leave a legacy. Legacy is about ownership. You can't pass anything down if you don't own nothing. When you go to sign a deal with somebody else, they own it. Okay, you can negotiate, you can negotiate something, but it's theirs. If you feel like you're of value, why not get your game up? You need a coach. You got a coach sitting up there. You got several, right? You go and learn how to become an entity on your own, even if it takes you 10 years to make a real profit. When you do start making that profit, you own it. So we still missing the boat when I hear people talk about trying to get signed. Who cares about getting signed on a major label? That's you're antiquated if you're trying to do that. And so with everything that's happened with streaming platforms, they're gonna make more money. You gotta get out and you gotta do shows on your own. You shouldn't want to get on no show with Live Nation because they're gonna take money and make you liable for other kind of stuff. All this other stuff that they're creating is to get a bigger piece of the pie. to push any people out or to make you more of a slave than you already were on your record contract. But it's still gonna fall to you as an individual artist that
Right.
you need to stop being lazy in order to move forward, and you need to work on your own.
All right. Hey, if y'all have any questions out there, feel free to ask us. Okay. We talking about, we have several topics on here. Hey, Beats, is there anything that you want to add to that as well?
No, I think Rico. Well, Rico did a great explanation of it. I think what's missing now is we have to look at this is great for like 6 months ago, but now that we're into this COVID-19, most of the states, some states are on lockdown, some are, kind of like Georgia and South Carolina on their own. But the difference now is independent artists now, and even in music industry is trying to find a new way of how to work around the effects of COVID-19, because it used to be where you can go out, and a lot of artists and independent artists now are not even doing shows. A lot of events are canceled. Even the major events are either canceled or they're doing it virtually. So now this is COVID-19 has kind of helped a lot of us, including from radio to DJs to podcasters to even independent artists, now realize that we're going to have to do things a lot totally different. And that includes marketing yourself and even becoming what's called the self entrepreneur.
Right.
Even trying to how you're going to market yourself as an independent artist now compared to when you were doing it 6 months ago. Because there was events, there was a lot of things people were booked for. You can go out to any event that you can perform and market yourself, hand out CDs. Now it's like you got to hand out stuff with the mask on, or you got to do it on your own. So how do you market yourself now in an era now where you, like in Virginia, for example, you guys, most of that's in Virginia. Things are still on a semi lockdown purpose. So it's like you can't do too much. But what can you do as an independent artist behind the scenes? Now a lot of artists can't even record in the studio. So now what do? Do you get your own studio equipment and try to, invest into your own home? And, these are things that artists have to do now. So,
well, from a marketing standpoint, you should still continue marketing and promoting yourself, because again, it's about consistent visibility. Okay. And yeah, the rates for advertising and marketing on the radio station or so have pretty much changed, where because again, folks are not working like they used to. So it's like there are some stations that have given lower rates or called COVID rates. But this is the best time to be marketing and promoting your stuff as an artist. So that's why hey, marketing and promotion never stops. Okay, people are still spending money, as Simone has alluded to.
And I wanted to say too that this is a time to get creative. I see a lot of artists who are doing online concerts with live feeds and trying to basically translate a concert that they would do on a stage or on a pulpit at a church live on Facebook. It doesn't translate the same way. So we need to start doing things like figuring out. People are at home. People are lonely. People need connection.
Yes.
Connect with people. You can't just create a stage in your house just like you have, if you were at a church or something somewhere, and call it an online concert. It doesn't work the same way. I get bored after the first song. I'm moving on. You didn't say hi to me. I need you to say hi to me and acknowledge that I'm here. Have a connection with the people at home. So many artists are not doing that. They're setting up the whole stage and they got the mics and the band over in the corner and everything. It's like, okay, yeah, that looks nice and everything, but
right.
That's not how your concert should be every single time you come on and do a live stream. And, you should be thinking about things that you can do that's just different, that will get you some different kind of attention, a different kind of marketing, like people are doing driveway concerts and, and connecting with the people in their neighborhood, balcony concerts, and, come online and just do a song. You don't have to do a full concert. But when you do come online, acknowledge the people that are watching and connect with them. Have a two-way conversation. This is one of the things that that I find, like, I guess artists find difficult to do, is to have that two-way conversation. I was watching a live stream yesterday, I think, and this lady, I'm, commenting in the comments, and she never acknowledged one of my comments. She's just preaching. She's just preaching. And I'm like, hello, are you going to acknowledge that I'm here? A video, your live video that you do on YouTube doesn't work the same way that it would work on Instagram or that it would work on Facebook.
Correct.
So it behooves you to learn what each platform likes and do that.
There you go. Awesome.
I'm gonna jump on something that Rico touched on when he talked about independent artists seeking a major deal. Universal Music, who arguably is one of the biggest record companies on the planet. 2019, their revenue was $7.7 billion.
Wow.
Would it surprise you that 61% of that came from local artists?
Mm.
That's incredible.
That's 4.6,
Wow.
4.6, almost $4.7 billion of Universal Music's revenue came from local artists marketing their own music in their own neighborhood.
In their own neighborhood. Look at that.
People you probably have no idea did music. People you have no idea who they are, but they're making a living and they're getting major backing.
Wow.
So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that and how if the majors are seeing the benefit of local artists, why aren't local artists seeing the benefit in themselves?
Wow.
Very good question. Yeah.
That is a very good question.
Very
Self-examination question right there.
Hey there, Eric Bell. How you doing, Mr. Eric? Hey. Yes, thanks for joining. Hey, yes, artists. Hey, yes. How, answer that question right there. Okay, how come you can't see the value in yourself? All right.
Self-examination question.
Wow, that's good.
And to further it, I know that might have not shocked a few people.
Wow.
But the major record labels, in the past, the independent artist way of getting their music out was to go through a distributor like a CD Baby or a TuneCore or DistroKid. Well, the major record labels are creating these little record companies that for people to release their music through them. But they're testing it out in Japan, they're testing it out in France, and in on the continent of Africa. That basically it's almost like an indie deal, but it's really you're making the majors money.
See,
they know how to get their money, man.
Exactly.
And they find the trends very quickly.
Right.
See, when we talk about TuneCore, we talk about Spotify. A lot of the platforms that you already see, they're already in the bed with majors or brokers of majors, right? Because it's not a new thing now to get distribution on those platforms. And obviously, when you got a bunch of money, you're going to go try to buy up the source so that you can get a bigger profit. So eventually it's going to be a monopoly like Comcast, like Time Warner, and as an artist, you have to start now. Everybody here done gave you a little bit of a little nuggets of things that you have to do, but you have to start now in trying to build a platform for yourself, and so that you can build a fan base, so you can go directly to the consumer, so you can cut out middle people. So eventually you can have your own music set up on your own platform, and consumers can come and get music directly from you, or stream it directly from your sources, however, because you got to stay up on technology. Right now, streaming rates are really low. So we need those people that are, if you're politicians, if you got friends with politicians, you guys need to be trying to lobby, new legislation, new bills, because they're making a lot of money. They're going to make a lot of money. So instead of saying, hey, we need stimulus checks. I mean, I know we need stimulus checks, but I'm not saying we don't, but we need people lobbying legislature so that we can start, taking advantage of this streaming that's coming, so other people stop making so much money on us. Go ahead, man.
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but you touched on something. I read right before we started that the European Union just bailed out, I think it's the artist community in the UK to the tune of €1 billion that they're injecting into artist venues, independent artists, people who make music, and you know what I mean, people who are not getting any revenue right now, and they're getting direct payments, because of a different kind of appreciation for the arts. And it's amazing that that's not happening here. Not surprising, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's when you look at other countries as compared to here, their legislatures tend to they are more apt to do something for the public good, right?
Mhm.
Whereas in this country, everything is politicized, and they only want to do what is right and what is in line with their party platform, and not what is right for the public good. And that's the sad thing about what's going on in this country.
Absolutely.
All right. Earlier, what we was talking about, Brandy said, honestly, a lot of artists don't know. So, and I believe majority of that falls on artists to get the knowledge, to seek the knowledge. So the Bible says, seek wisdom,
you shall find.
seeking you shall find. So
and we got to get out of this whole mentality of I want to be hood famous. It's not enough.
Yes,
it's not enough to be hood famous. Are you hood paid?
Right.
You don't have to be just hood famous. Can you be hood paid? Can you make enough with your music industry, your music business, that maybe you won't be able to buy a house, but maybe you'll be able to pay that light bill with your revenue, with your royalty check, or then maybe you'll be able to cover that car note, with your streaming, if you're marketing your music correctly. And you can't plead ignorance, because this next subject that we're about to touch on, it's probably gonna be a little sparks flying. But
before we hit that subject, because with sparks gonna fly, I want to touch on what Brother Reggie just said. He said, "I don't think artists will make money like they used to, even when this pandemic is over." I say I would disagree in a sense of artists, because we're in such an independent movement. There's a lot of opportunity for artists to make more money than what they made before. Right. Because when you think about super fans, we always talk about super fans, and and I guess we got to bring it up again because we tend not to understand.
You got to keep repeating it.
If you have 1,000 people that spend $100 a year with you, that's $100,000 a year that you'll make off your music. Only 1,000.
Only 1,000 fans.
Only 1,000 fans. Go ahead, Simone.
Now, see, it behooves the artist to come up with $100 worth of stuff to sell, whether it's your music, bundles, merch, teaching lessons, setting up a membership,
right?
Getting into what you're into, Rico. What do you call that? The music for commercials and movies and TV, sync licensing, right? Doing multiple mixes of your songs, different videos. There's lots of different ways that you can put stuff together to come up with writing books, writing devotionals, writing journals.
You got to be creative.
Depending on who your fan base is.
But there are artists, excuse me, Simone, there are artists that are making that, independent artists that are making money, bro. It's just not a lot. It's not a majority of artists, but there are artists, man, that are making money because they know how to pivot. And I keep using that term. Everything that Simone just said is you pivoting. If you have a 9 to 5,
creatively, thinking outside the box.
Thinking outside, it can't just be you doing a song or the album. A lot of artists are just stuck on an album,
right?
But you shouldn't even be doing an album if you don't have the followers, really, right?
I'm gonna put it to you like this. I know Brother Richard just said something, but I'm gonna tell you what my relatives always told me: those that know how to hunt will eat.
There you go.
Absolutely.
If
There
you
go.
know how to hunt, and now look, if you don't know how to hunt, get with some hunters.
Give us some
Come
hunters.
on now.
Get with some hunters.
Learn,
Hold on,
learn how
bro.
to do it.
Get with some
Bro,
hunters.
Bro, listen.
Get with some hunters.
Hold up, time out. Now listen. I gotta say this, man. Because this is something that we've been talking about for the last 2 doggone weeks. It's about group economics,
Mm.
right?
Right.
If you can't make it on your own, you need to get in with a pack that
With
you
other
guys
artists.
of other artists, and you guys start putting your money together. You cannot be successful by yourself
No, you can't.
in the new music business. It's designed for you to have help, and that means you got to slice that dollar down.
There you
You
go.
know, I gave an example to say I would rather if $2,400 on the table, I'd rather get $400. I'd rather split that $2,400 6 ways, and I cash out at $400 and go get another transaction, versus you trying to only do one $2,400 transaction every 6 months, every 8 months.
That's good. That's good. Exactly.
That's
Again-
real.
Oh
But you
man.
know, too, I really believe that we also need to work on changing our mindsets, you know,
All
because
right, Carlos.
we have so many of us have this scarcity mindset.
Yes.
I saw
Right.
Brandy said there's not a lot of money. There's not a lot of money to go around. Actually, there is. There's lots of money to go around.
$131 billion.
You got to learn how to
There's
get
a
it.
lot
You got to
of money
find that
to go
formula
around.
to get it.
Yeah, what are you
What?
doing to go and get a slice of that? Right? Oh, there's lots of artists out there who have really good music, but they don't know what to do.
Oh,
Well, guess
Brandy.
what? Get up off your butt and find the help that you need. The
Oh,
doors are open for you. And, you know, and then there are people who are waiting for God to just open the skies and rain down cash. That's not going to happen. Get up
Brandy.
off your butt.
All right. Hey, hold on. Hey, come on.
That God has already opened for you.
Can
Hey,
I,
yeah, go ahead real quick.
Brandy, real quick. You said you're a certified chef and you're an artist.
That's money right there.
Oh my God! Recipe book with your mixtape.
Oh man.
Even I'm finna give you another, because I told you we give you ideas and music to make. We don't even charge you.
Come on now.
You can actually have a membership, a cooking school online.
Oh, man.
People pay you monthly.
Get you-
You have a set menu to learn how. If they pay you,
Look,
okay, man. come on.
look.
Come
I
on,
was-
Come on now.
before we started, I was sitting there watching Tasty on Facebook, watching this man beat this pork chop to death, and I was just like, man, I wonder. I think I'm gonna do that later. Can you imagine Brandy doing that with her mixtape playing in the background or her singing something as she cooks?
You know? Yeah, I remember an artist a while back. She had a series called Singing in the Kitchen.
Exactly what Bisha said. That's a double market right there. You know,
Yeah, you know, you combine recipes, have a song to go with every recipe, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of stuff.
All right,
we got a few people on here that ain't Mr. Meal, Brandy. You got at least 3 or 4 fans.
But again, you got to go out there and get it, Brandon. And just
You
like
see-
any of the other
I
artists.
know I ain't missed one. You see 2 at the bottom, and that joker with that yellow cup at the top.
That's it, Carlos.
Ron and Simone kind of skinny, but me,
Oh no, hey.
Jesus,
You know what? But I eat
we ain't missed no meal. We know we
All you can eat.
Oh,
Back in the day.
Funny.
I am not Buffy.
Hey.
But just to answer the Brandy, I would say this. I would encourage you on this. You also have to look at your timing, your schedule, because like as a chef, also, especially if you're an executive chef or a sous chef, you have to look at your timing. But I think you can be able to market both. But you have to look at, okay, how can you balance both as far as, you know, if you're in the kitchen a lot more, but you can incorporate both into it if you can. Like you said, doing a
that's a unique skill, and that would be a unique niche.
Yeah, take your favorite dishes and make a cookbook out of it, but at the same time, put that CD in the back of that recipe.
And make a song book too. You could have a song to go with every recipe.
You can make
wow, that's a good idea.
You can make an intro song for a lot of these other shows out there that's doing cooking and stuff on the cooking channel.
Come on now.
Hey, you just need to consult with us, Brandy.
And get with us, and we'll help you come up with a marketing plan to to push this thing. Next thing you
Yeah.
know, everybody knows your
All
name.
right. Hey, look. Let's go to our next subject. We got
Okay.
25 minutes there. I know, hey,
Okay.
there is the-
Here's where the sparks are gonna fly. So there's an artist by the name of Aldre that came out with a video where he was talking about Rapzilla being culture vultures. And the basic synopsis of this video was that he had a song entitled Before I Die, that Rapzilla contacted him they wanted to basically promote this song, but they also wanted to enter into a 50-50 deal with his streaming royalties. And what wound up happening afterwards, after he did this deal, he was contacted by the CEO of Rapzilla, and he was accused of buying streams. And of course, the video that I saw and that was on YouTube was him reacting to, basically in this racially charged climate, him reacting to a white man telling him what he should and should not do. And so I'm going to throw it out there that, you know, while we don't know the rest of his streaming numbers, I did look up, and the song was on Spotify sitting at 253,000 streams, which roughly equates to right under $980. But per his deal with Rapzilla, that means he's bringing home about $486. So the question on the floor is, can he plead ignorance? Should he have known better? And is Rapzilla as a website, should they be considered culture vultures?
I definitely want Beast to jump in on this as well, because he did something on.
We're gonna let Beast go first. I'm gonna dive in the water after you, dog. But you jump first and get that cold splash first.
Brought to you by Jive Turkey Records. Now,
Jive Turkey Records.
This is about to get good, dog.
Oh boy, some furniture about to get moved.
Okay.
Oh my God.
let's look
My
at
God.
the first question that you asked, DeRay. What was the first question again that you asked?
Can he plead ignorance? And a lot of times, you know, it's just like a couple of artists have said on here, artists don't know any better, or they don't know, or a lot of artists don't know. Can he plead ignorance to the fact that he, as a grown-up, entered into this deal?
Well, no, I wouldn't say plead ignorance. I would say the question I would, if I was in his ball, and if the ball was in my court as him, I'd be questioning, the burden of proof is on you. You're accusing me of buying streams. Prove it that I bought streams. Where's the evidence? You see what I'm saying? Where's the evidence? You know, where's the evidence that he bought streams?
Now here's my rebuttal to that.
Okay.
Spotify has technology now that they can detect when you're buying fake streams.
Yes.
They can track IP. Yeah, they can track IP addresses.
Right.
They can track computers, locations. And so while we don't know if he actually bought them or not, if someone, I'll give you an example. I was working in IT at a college during for a work study, and we would get reports all the time from the RIAA that students were violating copyright law because of they were doing illegal downloads. Okay. Now, how did they know? Because this was back in 2009, 2010. They were able to send out digital signals to tell whether or not where these downloads and this music was coming from. So the same technology exists for these illegal playlists. So my response to that is he probably did, and they probably knew, and they were not notified.
Well, the thing is, now it's going to be on the burden is going to be on Rapzilla to produce evidence that he did. If he didn't, that's the first thing. But go ahead and finish these beats. I know you weren't done.
The evidence is not like, because number one, we don't know what the streams they were talking about, because we do know, like you said, Spotify, but streams could also be YouTube, because a lot of these 90% of independent artists use YouTube to do their music videos and use it as a leverage for streams. Then they can use SoundCloud. They can use a whole bunch of platforms. So the burden of proof would have to be on Rapzilla to prove the evidence, because it's not these entities, these big corporations that's saying, hey, you were illegally or buying up streams. It's Rapzilla saying it. So Rapzilla would have to prove that as one. Okay, now what's the second question you had on that one? What's the second part of the question?
The Rapzilla took half of his streams on the back end.
Right.
Say again?
Yeah. The first question was, can he plead ignorance?
Yeah.
The second question was, I forgot the second question, but basically the main question is, are we considering Rapzilla culture vultures?
Culture vultures.
Because they're entering into, and I had we just talked about streaming and how streaming is taking over. Rico had alluded to the fact that, you know, a lot of these companies are not making money like they used to.
Yeah.
And so a lot of marketing and promotion companies are trying to find any and every way that they can to increase their revenue. And it looks like Rapzilla is trying to do 360 deals now.
Yeah. Well, you know, what I said on my video a couple of days ago about Rapzilla is that, are they culture vultures? Yeah, I could say that, but there's 90% of the industry is culture vultures. You know, unless you're 100%, you know, unless you're a black-owned, 100% black-owned, black-operated type of business where you know the culture itself. But even black-owned business can be culture vultures if they want to be also. Mm-hmm. But is it wrong for them to be culture vultures? Yes and no. But my thing is this: what makes Rapzilla the number one website that I question? What makes them number one that you need to keep going to them?
There you go.
After everything you already know what other people have been through. It ain't like it's new.
You know, and there's thousands upon thousands of websites out there who do the marketing of music and who also can upload music. Some of them actually give better packages, but what made Rapzilla number one? I mean, what makes it like the go-to brand? You know, everybody has a go-to brand, whether it's in entertainment, food, or whatever, but what makes them, you know, the number one brand? And what's stopping independent artists from going to other entities to market themselves? And what's stopping them from marketing themselves?
Brandon will tell you.
Right.
So
yeah, and Brandy touched on something. Is he wrong for buying streams?
His own streams.
I would really be curious now. I only took one semester of entertainment law, but I would be curious as to the legality of purchasing something that you're going to eventually make Rapzilla pay for. Yeah. So, like, let's say that I legitimately got 10 streams. Well, that means that of those 10 streams,
good, Vince.
Of those 10 streams, whatever the revenue is, 5 of those are going to belong to Rapzilla. Mm-hmm. So if I purchase 1,000 streams or 2,000 streams, mm-hmm. and 1,000, now Rapzilla is going to have to pay me, you know, or I'm going to make money on those streams. But then I don't know the legality of that.
I'm trying to figure, how does this work? What does that mean that he bought his own streams?
That means that there are companies out there that will, for $40, $50, $100, they have rooms. They have rooms of computers, and all
like a bot type of thing.
Exactly, and all these things do. They run your song until you get the amount of streams that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called
stream farming.
Right. And so Spotify sees that like all these streams are coming from the same IP address, and it's like, okay, clearly you bought these. Got it.
Well,
you're trying to game the system.
Well, not necessarily, because if you have an IP like IP Vanish, you know, if you send your streams through like IP Vanish, it's gonna give you a different IP all over the United States. So that's not even necessary, because these streaming farms, they're very good in cloaking IPs. But the bigger problem for me in that scenario is, you know, as a marketing company, how we get paid as MIM, we're a marketing company, we get paid, you know, you paying us to market. We don't take your back end and your money. Now, what I said something earlier was this. 360 deals, when they first appeared, people got upset about them, and they were saying, you know, record companies were robbing the artists. But you got to understand, like, contracts are just words, and anybody can put a contract together to say whatever all contracts are made to be debated in court is a contract. But when you when somebody put a contract in front of you, it's up to you to sign the contract,
Mhm.
right? You don't have to sign what somebody push over to you.
No.
And so now because of there's a lack of money being made, you're gonna see other crazy deals. I mean, I can't say, I mean, because I have my own opinion because when it comes to, and it's just my opinion, right? Because it's not my business model. I wouldn't want to be a part of MIM if Ron and Vince, say, well, hey man, what we're gonna start doing, we're gonna start taking 50% of streams on the back end of every artist because they don't want to pay money up front. I really wouldn't want to do that because people already get robbed with streams, right? So then it goes back onto you as the artist. You are responsible for having the right representation to go over these contracts to find out what type of deals, and that's why we keep saying to you, you can't plead ignorance,
Right.
because you can plead ignorance and say you're ignorant, but then we're still in a society of information, and if you took your time to check around and ask questions and paid for somebody, man, to assist you in trying to find the right situation, you wouldn't have been in that situation. So in that situation, I said both. Rapzilla wrong for trying to be Culture Vultures in that situation, and be taking and kind of be trying to take advantage, and the young man, the artist, for being wrong because you need to be smarter about how you do business instead of just doing famous. Because I know a lot of artists want to do business with Rapzilla because they're the go-to on the Christian side of things, but there's a lot of exactly. There's a lot of different ways to do that, but that's my opinion.
I think also real quick.
And then we'll go to Beach real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at, like, I also quickly scanned all of his other releases, and I think he had 2,000 streams for this song, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 streams for one song, and then immediately it jumped up to 230,000 streams for this one song. Now, are we to say that Rapzilla's influence is like that, or
And you only have 2 listeners.
and you got 25 followers? It's like, oh wow, your family and friends really love that song.
That's what I like about
They got that one on repeat.
That's what I like about D-Ray, the producer, because he does his facts, and that's the one thing we had to prove on here is the facts. And when you look, one thing I didn't add question in my video because I was like just thinking about tonight was that what's missing from the video and what's missing from both sides where are the facts, where are the receipts? You know what I'm saying? Like, all we got is a one-sided story from an artist who happened to say that, now the person who contacted him through a messenger, he said, was very rude and very condescending towards him as a black male and so forth. And okay, I can give you the benefit of the doubt on that, but I would like to know the facts. Like, as far as show me your contract. Are you guys doing verbal contracts? Because it seems like in the Christian body, we always seem to see artists and people doing verbal contracts more than they do written ones. And then when we do verbal contracts because we think the brother or sister is a Christian, so we think that they're just going to be okay. They're going to be the word of God and so forth. And then we get our behinds handed to us by a person who had ulterior motives. And a contract is when somebody generates a contract, whether it's verbal or if it's written, they're always going to generate it to benefit them, the person who generates the contract, because they're going to win. They want to eat more than the person that's receiving. So you have to be smart. And this is for independent artists also. Y'all have to be smart. You got to go in this with your head on tight and ready to go in there and look at what you're signing for, what you're agreeing to, because the person on the other end, just because they say that they love Jesus Christ, just because they say they love God and they go to your favorite church or they know your pastor, does not mean that they always have the best interest of heart for you. So when you go on this, you gotta be prepared. Now you need to go get a entertainment lawyer or somebody to look at the contract to make sure that you're not getting a 360 deal or that you're not getting shafted. Then the question would be for an artist like this, Aldre, was what does Rapzilla have to offer to you? And I can be honest with you as a DJ. I cannot name 10 artists who have benefited from Rapzilla in the past 14 years because Rapzilla's first started off The most popular website at the time before Rapzilla came in was holyculture.net.
Holy culture, yeah.
Then it
My
went
homie.
to Culture Live Radio. Then it went to thesouth.com. Then it was West Coast Fire. Then it was Jam the Hype. And then so many other, and then it was New H2O and so many other websites. Some have crashed and burned. Some got bought out by Rapzilla. But Rapzilla is not I'm not saying it's a bad website. I'm not here to point fingers at them. But my thing is this. You got to look at, if you're going to be part of something, you got to look at their success rate. Do some research. Do some history.
There you go.
Find out what can you benefit from just advertising on this website. What is the success rate of other artists? I'm being honest with you as a Christian DJ. I've been doing it for 14 years. I have not seen anything successful for none of the websites out there, other than that you just got your name on a page, on the front page for one day. And then when Lecrae or somebody comes out with a single that's very popular, your behind gets pushed to the second page and the last page and whatever else. So, then you get upset and then you want to fill out a butthurt form and then we got to go back through,
Well, and it's another thing too. It's like, just because, maybe somebody got famous because of this site 20 years ago, doesn't mean that this site is going to make you famous. Not necessarily because they are bad at what they do. Maybe your music just isn't what that person's music was.
Yeah.
I looked at
music isn't right for everybody.
You're right.
I looked at who owns Rapzilla, and the person that owns Rapzilla comes from the same place that the person that owns Spotify comes from. They come from Europe and the Netherlands. Yeah. And they look at music as a commodity. They look at music as a business unit. They don't care if you saved or not.
Right.
Now they say they're Christian. They say that they all about Christianity, but they ministry, but they really do see music as a commodity, and they see you as a means in which to get that commodity.
Make some money.
Right. See, the problem with us as believers, and I've said this and I put it on my post because young Noah made a comment. He said, I never seen so many ignorant broke. CHH is like the land of make believe. I never seen so many ignorant people that are broke. It's like when we are as believers, we're so caught up. We believe because we follow Jesus and we really, really, really love Jesus. Yes. That we're really not supposed to transact business. We're really not supposed. Jesus said the children of darkness are wiser than the children of light. What he was trying to say to you, man, them cats in the mainstream, they do their homework. It's not about friendship, brotherhood. It's about I'm gonna understand, man, how the statute work. And I understand what this law is. I understand what Pell is illegal. Well, I'm going to go and get an independent radio promoter so I can get around payola. So those cats understand how to play the game. You think because you're a Christian and you love Jesus, you speak in tongues, and that's great. I speak in tongues too. I love Jesus too. But also, before I do business, I'm gonna sign a contract. You're gonna sign a contract because the contract gonna make it clear as to what you expect of me and what I expect of you. You don't know how to do business, and those that know how to do business in the body of Christ, you say that we care about the money. No, we know how to do business. It's not about us being friends. It's not whether I like you or not. It's about business. And it's the reason that you don't have no money is because you don't know how to do business. It's not just about Jesus. Jesus is a part of it. But Jesus is also, he said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. You will not study. You will not become a student of the craft. The student of the craft is not just learning how to use an MPC, a machine, Pro Tools, Logic, whatever. A student of the craft is understanding publishing. It's understanding, mechanical royalties. It's understanding sync royalties. It's understanding, what does being independent means really. You have to become a student of the game. And then what happens is once you learn, because, contracts, if you got 10 industry contracts, none of them are not the same. There's no cookie cutter record contract, or there's no cookie cutter marketing contract, right? Because everybody's doing something different. They have a different demographic they're speaking to. So a lot of these companies can create contracts that are out of the norm. But if you are a student are the game when you begin to look at a contract, right? You'll be able to know exactly what's good and what's not bad. I have an artist, you know, I remember Lamont Chestnut, his uncle worked for Sony. I did an independent contract, wrote it up myself because I know how to read contracts. But his uncle come back and said, well, man, yeah, ask him about this and that, and I explained it, and he signed it. You know, but the thing is, do you have somebody in your corner that can understand contracts? You need to be a student of the game. I know we got to go, but stop making excuses. Stop being lazy. You guys are lazy.
And real quick, I was sitting here as Rico was going forth. I was really thinking about the legality of buying your streams. Now, if I enter into a contract, let's say me and Rico are into a contract. Yeah. Okay, me and Rico are having a partnership, and I do something illegal. I go and I do something illegal. Guess what happens if we get sued? Rico gonna get sued.
Rico is liable as well.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna come to Rico and I'm gonna say, hey man, stop that. Or Rico is gonna come to me and say, hey, stop what you're doing. And guess what? Not gonna be nice when I do it. I don't care what color you are. If you are opening me up to liability, if you're opening me up to I'm gonna be sued. Yeah. Oh no, I don't care who you are. You gonna stop it.
Ain't gonna be me.
Or look, or I'm gonna roll up in the name of Jesus.
And see, that all boils down to, again, integrity. As the Bible says, one of my favorite scriptures, a good name is rather chosen than riches. So how you handle business, you need to be handling it Christ-like. You can still make money, but it's the way you conduct business. That's the Christ-likeness in it, okay? And if you're a shady person, a shady Christian that's trying to get over folks and not handling business correctly, then yes, you are wrong. And you need a heart check, okay? So
isn't shady Christian an oxymoron?
Well, you know, hey, it's called carnal Christian. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
I can tell you firsthand. I've got my head chopped off a few times of working with people, and because I didn't do a contract, and because I was trying to use a heart and be a brother, people change. People switch out on you. Whatever they said on Tuesday may be different on Thursday. They may be in a different mood on Saturday and come to church and be a whole nother person.
And even here at MIM, we have contracts with one another. Okay, yeah, we all cool, but no, we got contracts. We're handling business. Bottom line. Again, hey man, I hate the time is up or so. Definitely want to give shout outs to all those who have tuned in. Carlos, hey Carlos, man, we want to definitely have you on as a comedian. We want to talk about marketing and promotions, and so because that's very important. No matter what profession that you're in, the process is still the same. All right. Shout out to my man Leo for his radio station out there in California. So man, thank you so much, everyone. Jesus Beats, Hot 316 Radio. All right. Yes, man. Well, thank you so much. Hey, he's a friend of MIM, and so he's pretty much a regular. He can come on anytime.
Everybody's friend.
Everybody. Hey, the Reverend Dr. Jesus Beats gives some great.
The Reverend Dr.
I hate everybody.
I love the chicken wings. The chicken wings.
Man, but yes, hey, we want to thank y'all so much. Hey, real quick, y'all, starting with you, Simone, any last words?
No, just check us out every week and visit me on Eshe Music.
All right, awesome. All right, Jesus Beats.
Awesome. No, it's a message.
Religion.
Just telling all you independent artists out there, you guys continue to work hard and take all these tools that you learn from all these great people up here. I'm telling you, they're giving you some great helpful tools, and they care. They care a lot for independent artists because we want to see you guys shine. So
yes, all right, D. Ray.
I would say, ignorance is no excuse. If you don't have the brain power, if you don't have the bandwidth to understand it, that's fine. But get you a squad that understands it. Get with the Music Industry Makeover, because there are some people here that cover finances, that cover branding, that cover your image, that cover promotion and marketing. Don't just hang around and be ignorant, man. Get you a smart team.
There you go. All right, Rico.
Absolutely.
I say, man, I want you first and foremost to know that I love you guys. But I'm that coach, man, that's going to kick you up and down the field, because I want to make sure that you win. You may hate me at practice. You might even talk about me behind my back when you leave the field. But when you actually get to that next level, you're gonna reach back and thank me. right? Because I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know. I'm not gonna pull no punches. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't scared of nothing. People who tell lies, they have fear. I fear Jesus. I don't care about how you feel about me. But that's what you need. You need somebody on your squad that's gonna tell you the truth. That's not gonna let that stuff pass. That's how you gonna win.
All right.
You need a team.
Awesome. And remember, you matter in the kingdom of God, so don't compare yourself or your ministry to anyone else. Just do what God's called you to do, and you'll be just fine. Hey, we'll see you again next week. God bless you. Peace.